future, and it builds and builds and builds. And it doesn't just have a date where it kicks on. It kicks on way ahead. They have peak dates where they said it'll peak, and supposedly this will peak in March. But it's already here, and it's already building, and there is a huge wave of energy coming in, which is unity consciousness. So what that's going to mean is that those who are out of unity consciousness, those people who are, let us say, self-serving, they're disconnected from their soul and spirit. All they think about is the physical world and sense gratification and material wealth and power. Those people are not going to ride this wave out very well. So anyway, Platon's been talking a lot about this. They've been saying tyranny is coming to a close, and I'm understanding now how this is coming about. So it's coming about through consciousness and energy, and it's all about frequency. And the people that are focused on love and joy and bliss and service to others, and they wish to live in harmony with each other and the planet, those people are going to cruise right through this. But even those people need to pay attention. You need to be connected to spirit, to soul and spirit. And when you are, you're going to know what to do and where to go. If you're disconnected and you're not paying attention, you can, have the other experience where you can start over in diapers. And that's okay. You're an eternal spirit. But if you want to continue to hang out on this planet, we are going to have to each make our own personal connection with Spirit, God, Creator, whatever you want to call it, and listen to the guidance and act on it with loving detachment, not in denial. I'm hearing so many people saying consciousness creates reality, and I don't believe any of this, so it's not going to happen for me. There's an old saying that enlightenment means in knowledge of all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly, both sides of the coin. So you need to know what's going on so you can make an informed decision. But you need to also look at where your information is coming from. So it's very tricky. We need to run all the information by our own inner sensitivity, our own, what some people call BS meter. And if it doesn't feel right, it's not right, probably. And so, but we have to really look at, are we in denial? Do we have extreme attachment to where we live? Our jobs, even though they may be totally out of alignment, are we doing things that are harmful to humanity and the earth? And then at the same time talking about how spiritual we are and how connected we are. We've got to look at all of this with brutal honesty right now, and I think that's what's coming, is a grand lesson in impeccable integrity and brutal honesty, and we're going to see exactly where we're out of alignment, with universal principles and universal law. And those who are out of alignment with this wave of consciousness and energy are going to have the opportunity to get back into alignment. And so basically there'll be an extreme acceleration in karma, or action-reaction, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be accelerated. Everything that's been hidden is going to rise and for everybody to see. There's nothing going to be hidden anymore. So go the politicians, the poor guys, you look at their past deeds and some of the things they've done, and a lot of people have died in the wake of their struggle to get to the top or suffered greatly. And all that's going to come up for them to see. So, and when you are constricted in consciousness, it affects your body, and your body is going to end up feeling these energies. And when you have a dense body or a constricted body or a constricted heart, guess what? You have heart attacks. If you have a lot of anger, your liver's going to be going and talking to you. If you have extreme fear, or that's going to end up in different parts of your body. So there are practices, leading into what's happened here at the ranch. We've had some great masters come here, and ancient traditions are coming forward to help us realign these energy channels and get our organs functioning again, and connect into that higher and energy, and those are all available here at the ranch now. We have different instructors to teach these principles. So, basically I think it's very important that we come to the realization we are multidimensional beings existing on a vibration continuum. We're connected to the very source itself. If you think you're a body and a personality and you reside in social consciousness, that's where you are, and that's what you've chosen, and you're going to be led like lemmings off a cliff, and that's just the way it is. If you choose to go within and listen and honor your own sensitivity and do what feels right, and you're in alignment with universal principles, you're going to do well. And that is the bottom line. And we're having a golden opportunity to do this, to get going with this program. So basically, that's what's happening. There is a huge wave of consciousness and energy coming in. It's coming through galactic core. It's activating everything. All the planets are feeling this shift, this change. We're feeling in our bioelectric body, bands around our body. It's affecting all the way down to the very cell level itself. So every atom, every cell, every bone, every muscle, every tissue in your being is being vibrated right now, and it's increasing in frequency. So we just need to be at peace. Start living in harmony with each other, and make our own personal connection with Source.
Okay, can you speak a little bit about the nature of orbs and why so many people seem to be threatened by them, demanding that they are dust, pollen, or water spots? And I'm wondering if you want to talk a little bit about the equipment that you have, the infrared spotlight and night vision that you use to view the orbs in real time.
Yeah, that's a great subject. There's been some wonderful DVDs. Hope and Randy Mead made one, and we have it on the site if you want to check into that. And it's a beautiful DVD about orbs, and they bring on scientists that talk about the orbs as well. So, the veil is lifting is I believe what it's called, Orbs, the veil is lifting. And then Michal Ledwith came out with one as well called the Orb Project, and both of those are very, very good videos if you want to hear the scholarly approach to orbs. Basically, I think people are really threatened by orbs because it's really hard to handle the idea that you're always being observed. And there's always other dimensional beings surrounding you, observing. It gets a little spooky for some people, but if you have nothing to hide, then it's not a problem. The higher dimensions can see down into the lower dimensions. The lower dimensions, unless they do their spiritual practices, can't see up into the higher dimensions. That's just the way it works. So I think with some people, and some people who are very hard scientists, nuts and bolts scientists, have a hard time with this. And other people just like to throw out nonsense, to be special or whatever, and to sound like they're scientific, but they are very unscientific when they do this. Because science has accepted the fact that there are at least 11 dimensions out there, and for them to demand physical proof that these other dimensions exist is a little crazy if you think about it. So we can actually physically measure less than 1% of the universe we live in, and there's 11 other dimensions out there. So wake up and smell the coffee. The science is behind this. Now we can explain a lot about these orbs. A lot of the things we're filming are in the infrared range, and some in the ultraviolet. And again, as I said, these are actually dimensions. There's beings living on these dimensions. And these orbs that we've been filming here have faces in them, very, very clear faces, not just maybe a pattern. Some show mandalas. I had orbs appear to me as Egyptian coins, and they were exactly like Egyptian coins. At the time, we were connecting into Ma'at and Isis and some other energies. We felt a presence there, and it was weird that the orbs showed up and looked like a coin. And the coins were replicas of some of the beings there. So we've seen like the flower of life in orbs. We see beings with shawls, wearing shawls, like masters and things like that, humans in these orbs. And we've seen animal spirits in these orbs, like faces of bears and other animals that are very clear. So we have these orbs flying through trees with branches in front of them, and the shadow is cast on these orbs, which show they're quite a distance away. They're not a spot. These orbs are taken indoors. They're taken, we have photographs of them flying in basements, flying right through steel. We have them right through physical objects. They're interacting with people. It's kind of interesting watching this happen because out in the field here, we have technology that we have an infrared spotlight, and we use Sony iGen infrared cameras. And so we can film these orbs actually interacting with people. They love kids. They love the divine feminine energy and animals. They like to play around animals. And these are in real time. We're filming them flying around, flying against the wind, going into the ground, going up into space, and flying from the mountain to the ranch here. If you look at the evidence, it's overwhelming that these orbs are real. They do exist. They're not water spots. They're not dust particles. And the way they act when you observe them, they do interact with people, and they fly against the wind, and through physical objects. So, good luck with the dust and the water spot theory. It just doesn't exist. Now, you can throw dirt in the air and flour in the air and get something similar to an orb when you do this, but that does not explain the phenomenon at all. Because as I said, it definitely, these orbs are multicolored. They come in every size, shape. They have faces in them. They go through. These. If they were dust, they wouldn't be moving up into space from the ground, and going through physical objects. Especially when there's no rain, so they're not water spots. And, if you have water spots on your lens and you take pictures, you're going to keep seeing those pictures. You're going to keep seeing the same spot on your pictures, so that doesn't work either. But it's just common sense. The overwhelming evidence, when you look at it, you can't deny that these orbs are real, that they are a real phenomenon. And we've had scientists come here specifically to argue and debunk us. And after they left, they were turned upside down, and not only did they see the orbs, they saw the ships, and they saw things that they couldn't, there's no way they could explain. They saw massive triangle ships, they saw things making right-angle turns, powering up, ships morphing from 1 to 3. There's just so much going on here, and photographs taken too. It's just an amazing place. There's just so much going on, it's hard to refute it.
Okay, one of the more common questions that we get here is, I want to help out at the Ascetti Ranch. Do you need any volunteers at the moment to help out on the land or in any other way?
Right now we're kind of winding down a little bit. We had the big conference, and we are getting a lot of heat and a lot of problems, with the county. So basically we actually need some good, legal assistance, in the state of Washington. And, we're a registered church, and we're having some problems with the